The following program is a Greenlight Maine production, being brought to you in part by Bangor Savings Bank, where you matter more.
Every Maine business adds value to our state. Diversity adds strength and beauty to our communities. We each have different journeys with a common goal: to prosper and contribute to a vibrant, thriving future in Maine, all to help strengthen the economy. Greenlight Maine and Bangor Savings Bank present Elevating Voices, a celebration of Maine's diverse business community.
Welcome to Elevating Voices. I'm Julene Gervais. We continue our series bringing you the stories of business owners who contribute to Maine both socially and economically. Today, we're going to head down Congress Street and share the story of a group of artists with a strong sense of community, hence the name Loquat.
My name is Jordan Carey. We are standing in the Loquat flagship store in the Arts District of Portland, Maine. And Loquat is a fashion lifestyle brand focused on marginalized people and empowering them through their aesthetics as well as transparent collaborative manufacturing. I think the initial seed was when I was a freshman at Maine College of Art and Design, and I was looking at the Black, mostly immigrant community in Portland in late August, early September, wearing a lot of their traditional clothing. And then as it got cold, all of that gets traded out for long black jackets. And I remember being very sort of disappointed by that and missing my home country of Bermuda and the affirming aesthetics and community there. And that sort of sent me on this path of using fashion as a tool to negotiate cultural issues and generate community.
What are some of the things we're going to see here?
Oh, I mean, all sorts of things. Natural dyed textiles, screen printing, digital printing, experiments, future projects, storytelling, mistakes, and hours and hours of toil and excitement from an international but also very local community of artisans, entrepreneurs, and craftspeople. We intentionally use the word marginalized artists because it is specific and also vague. It's a word that is negotiable and fluid, but somehow to the point, right? So the artists that are here are women. There are people who are neurodivergent. There are people who are chronically ill or disabled, people of color, LGBTQ people, etc. You know, it's about people who could use the community and would benefit from an accessible place to build relationships for business or mentorship or things of that nature.
How did you move to Portland?
I lost a bet with my mom. I didn't want to go to college last minute. And she said, if we can agree to one school and you apply and get in, you have to go. And if you don't get in, I'll leave you alone. And I got in, so I went to Mecca because I was a boy of my word. It was an adjustment for me. I think that I was sort of deciding on what I wanted to be as an adult for the first time. You know, that's confusing. You try a lot of things that don't work. I'm saying me. I had no patience for things that I had sort of spent the last 4 years doing. And, you know, it took me a while to find my stride, but I think that the thing that made it what it was I was in art school and I was focusing on what I wanted to do full time for the first time in my life. And that made putting in effort very easy at that time.
When did you know that Portland, Maine was going to be home for you?
You know, I don't know if I ever thought about it in that way. I think that I always just did what I felt made sense, which I think is what a lot of artists do. It's like, what makes sense for me now? I had relationships here. I had people I cared about here. I had professional opportunities here. So when the time for graduation came along, I was like, I'm not going to disrupt my professional and creative flow for some other place when there's things to be grateful for here.
Tell us about your team.
I have a fantastic group of people that have worked with the brand and supported the brand. The staff is all queer people of color, first generation or immigrant people. Madison, Joanna, and Lucas have been fantastic artists, and they are very straightforward with me, which I super need and appreciate if we're ever gonna get good work done and critical thinking done. Because of that, the identity and the branding and the design of the brand has, I feel, stopped reflecting me so much and my personal heritage, and I would hope has started to become an avenue for all of our experiences to become material.
Hi, I'm Madison. I'm a designer here at Loquat. One of the things that I do within my personal practice and here is murals. I do the window up in the front. That changes throughout the seasons depending on what's going on. Right now we have a mural that says, "Don't lose your color in all this snow," and it represents a lot of different things for us within the POC community and within the queer community. It'll be nice to put something else up there. I'd like for the summer window to represent like mental health and healing throughout the summertime.
So what do customers say when they come in here?
I mean, I think people are often curious about what we're doing. You know, we manufacture in the back, and sometimes that, looks weird or is making noises or, looks exciting. And everybody here is also a fine artist, and we all have our own personal practices as well. So at times this space becomes a studio for that reason, or we're the dress department for Hogfish, an opera company in town. So sometimes, we're working on big ball gowns or whatever. So I think that, the manufacturing part is often the first thing to catch people's attention in the space.
You grew up in Bermuda.
Small island. They're gonna bite me if I get this wrong. 21 square miles, 66,000 people. I didn't realize how much I loved it until I missed it. And we just opened up our second shop in Bermuda, which was a long-term dream of mine and goal of mine, to be able to get to that position where we can be there for more than just a moment, especially because I feel like so much of the work that we make, at least my contribution to it, it feels like it's for them directly. A reflection of my time growing up around entrepreneurs, growing up around people working in government, growing up around people trying to raise their kids, or feeling frustrated about cultural identity. It's a small place with a heavily displaced population, and we're a relatively new culture, 400 plus years, barely. It's not a lot of time to establish who you are after being moved around and jumbled up. I feel very honored to be able to interpret my culture and bring it back and offer it. So yeah, I'm very excited to be home for that reason.
Awesome.
I wrote an essay once for Maine Craft Association about being an artist in a place that's designed to be a destination for others, a tourist economy, a tourist culture. When your infrastructure is built to be consumed by people that come, take, and leave, what is the role then of the artist? How do we encourage people, visitors and locals alike, to be mindful of our space, be mindful of the earth here, be mindful of the culture that existed before you got here and will be here after you're gone? And that means, fisher folk, and then also indigenous people, and and it gets much more complex in between. I try to hold that sentiment when we're designing, but also when we're having coffee meetings in the shop or whatever, of this sort of mindful engagement around place and community.
Tell us what loquat means.
So loquat is a stone fruit. It's like a plum, basically. It's originally from China, and it was brought over to Bermuda. Its most popular use is for traditional Chinese medicine. You can make oils or tea or whatever. It's also edible as a fruit, of course. But in Bermuda, it is more of a symbol of spring. And for me in my life, it was a symbol of active community because the loquat is the first fruit that comes out, late February. I remember when I was growing up, I had a huge row of them on my back wall. And I would leave the back door to go to school and I would find like families of people standing on our wall early in the morning, late at night, going through the trees. And, it was just this sort of social understanding that there's no private property during loquat season. Everybody is foraging and cooking and sharing recipes for pies, ice cream, jam, rum, whatever. And, I love that function. I love that it was moved from its original cultural context and placed in this new place where it was rediscovered with its old context and its new. And that just felt very poetic to me. And so thinking about Bermudian identity, thinking about marginalized identity through the poetry of the Bermuda loquat just felt easy.
Since 1852, Bangor Savings Bank has been helping New Englanders thrive by living our You Matter More promise. We invest in Northern New England because your ideas, your well-being, and your business matter to us. Our commitment is reflected in our caring employees, innovative solutions, and investments in local communities. At Bangor Savings Bank, you are at the heart of everything we do because you matter more.
With so many Medicare options, it can be confusing. At Martin's Point, we make your Medicare choices easy. Our all-in-one Medicare plans cover doctor's visits, hospital stays, and prescription drugs, dental, vision, and eyewear, fitness and wellness reimbursements, with premiums and copays as low as $0. As one of the highest-rated Medicare Advantage plans in New England, you can feel confident you're covered. Call or visit us online today to request your free Medicare Made Simple guide.
Darlings Brunswick Ford has pickup and delivery service. Our team saves you time by picking up your vehicle for a service appointment and then dropping it off when it's done at no cost to you. Call 844-5945 today.
With Thomas College, it's possible to earn a degree in 3 years and a master's in 1. It's possible to find yourself graduating career-ready through one of the nation's first guaranteed jobs programs. It's possible to become the future you, the one you dream to be. Because for 130 years, we've been dedicated to helping students unlock their possible. Because we're in the business of possible. That's Thomas College. Unlock your possible at thomas.edu.
Welcome back to Elevating Voices. Our next honoree started a company for the sole purpose of supporting women-owned businesses. Let's meet Coel Travel. What made you decide to move to Maine?
I moved to Maine because I met someone from Maine. This is a love story. I don't know if this is what I'm sharing today.
I love it. It's good.
But yeah, love brought me to Maine. I was helping Peace Corps volunteers for about 10 years before that. So my high school invited me because I was in town to run a workshop. So I asked to volunteer. Because I knew I was moving to Maine, I applied for a joint supervision program for my PhD program at University of Maine, Farmington.
Where'd you get your PhD in?
International Human Resources, specifically culture integration, and I focused on American and Moroccan culture.
When you first moved to Maine, what was it like for you?
So I moved in a really, really interesting times. It was 2020, big pandemic year. So it was not easy, just like a lot of us felt isolated, and I felt the same way when I first moved. I was very excited to join my partner, and I was ready for a change. I wanted to experience another culture, learn more, connect deeply with my partner's culture and family like he did. I had to find ways to connect with communities in not very accessible ways because of the pandemic. But luckily it was summer in Maine, so I went for long walks, hikes. We went to the beach, loved going to picnic by the lake. So those are things that really helped me go through that challenging pandemic moving continent period, yeah.
What made you decide to start Coel Travel?
So I grew up in a family that really valued heritage and preserving heritage, but at the same time embracing the world. So growing up, we had so many people from all over the world staying in our house, like almost like an Airbnb before it was an Airbnb. My dad was a guide, and we had researchers and tourists from all over the world staying with us, and we learned so many. My siblings and I learned a lot of cultures and traveled within our own home. So that's my first passion for travel. And then I started getting involved with so many community and global initiatives that are focused on sustainable development goals, and my awareness for gender equality and sustainable tourism and other goals, I got to really understand how important things are and how we could change things within our community and within small actions. Only 5% of the profit in tourism stays in local communities. I learned things like women in tourism, how they're treated, or the pay, or I learned from my own heritage as an indigenous person that indigenous lands preserve to the biodiversity of our planet, but get nothing from tourism. So my passion for travel and wanted to travel with people, and I wanted to do it responsibly. Like all the values I carried with me throughout the years, I wanted to create something that is really reflects what I learned and what my family and my communities taught me.
Can you tell us a little bit about Morocco and give us a lesson?
Morocco is in North Africa, and it's very, very close to Spain. You can take a ferry to Spain. It's an African country. It's also an Arab country. It's very close to Europe, that there is an influence, they influence each other, the cultures. There's the indigenous community of the Amazigh people. So I think the geography where we are, we're like a bridge from Africa to Europe. People speak French, Spanish, Portuguese, Arabic, Amazigh. One person would speak 5-6 languages in Morocco. Morocco is a small country, but it's very diverse. In every region, to me, I'm still learning about what is Morocco because I'm from one region. And right now, through taking people to other regions and working with women and families from those locals, I'm learning deeply about it. So I don't know everything about Morocco, and I'm still learning, and there's so much to learn, but it's definitely very interesting. Just like the world is so interesting, so much to learn from people.
What types of vacations can people experience with Coel Travel?
So Kuwel Travel is a sustainable travel company that is focused on 3 core values. Women in tourism, by supporting women in tourism, training women in tourism. The second value is honoring indigenous cultures and community-based tourism. So we have it's almost like a movement of traveling with purpose. So when you travel with Kuwel, you travel with purpose. That means you stay with local family-owned, women-owned accommodations. We hire and we try to pay women what they deserve by studying their male counterparts' pay, and we also visit environmental impact initiatives, and we learn about indigenous plants, and we connect with the indigenous communities. And we give back. We make sure we don't only pass through, but we make an impact and give back to the communities we visit. Getting outside of the touristy area to avoid over-tourism, but also to connect deeply with the communities, and visiting the nonprofits that are really connected with these communities, and having women lead these experiences. Just being with a family and sharing home-cooked meals with a family, and the joy and what we learn from that human simple connection is that's what makes lasting impact. We're also really excited that we're designing experiences in Maine as well, and also in Canada, in Colombia, in Ireland. Same model. It's really a big validation knowing that model, it could be executed, and the impact could be made in any communities, whether my home now in Maine or my home in Morocco. So recently we traveled to down east to Washington County, and we visited a women-owned farm and learned about fish and indigenous plants, visited indigenous communities, indigenous museum, and we are designing that experience that we're really excited to, a group that will go on that experience in August already.
You also do so much to help other people start a business. What made you decide to do this?
First, it was not in a specific format or under a specific organization. It was very organic, just showing up to community events and connecting with immigrant communities through my experience in international human resources and international recruitment. I just know when someone speaks more than language, the talent they have and the skills. So I started almost, I don't know if it's coaching, but motivating people that so what is your background? Go for the jobs that you're skilled, remember your skills. It's almost like that, and then I decided to contribute into some community projects by designing trainings and other resources like toolkits to support employers and businesses to hire more immigrants and bridge the gap of the need of the workforce and the talent we have from the immigrant community to really connect businesses with talents.
What advice would you have for other people either moving to Maine or people who want to start a business?
Remember your why, remember the reason you started, because when it gets challenging, you need to find and connect back to your biggest purpose. That's what keeps you going. And it could be as small as your connection to the family, or something you're passionate about, or the joy it brings you. But maybe write it down when you first start, and when you get stuff, go back and read it. Like a letter to yourself, why are you doing this? Because it's not easy, but your why is what would keep you going.
What was your life like living in Morocco compared to now living in Maine?
Both Maine and Morocco right now feel like home, and I miss both whenever I travel between, because of the community and the family I've built. Because I believe Maine is beautiful, but there's beauty in everywhere we travel. The geography is different, but once you build the community and friends that became like family, that's when I was able to call Maine home.
I am truly awestruck by the innovation that exists Fame has fundamentally been a part of keeping the business community here resilient and robust.
Our role is to help.
Coming in. To have people in your corner that will guide you through the whole process is really helpful.
When they say, hey, we believe in this, it's a real boost to confidence.
Fame works for Maine, helping businesses and lenders create a bright economic future.
It's about helping Maine grow.
Congratulations to the newest winners of Greenlight Maine and to all the amazing businesses that competed this season. At Albin, Randall, and Bennett, we see you as the future of Maine, creating opportunity and strengthening our business community. Your innovative spirit and limitless determination drive the economic prosperity of our great state. Keep chasing your dreams. Your success is Maine's success.
Whether you're a small business or a big business, whether you're cutting edge or looking at a traditional industry in a whole new way, whether you're on the coast, in the city, a small town, wherever, if you're an organization here in Maine, if you want to innovate and if you want to grow, we want to support you. We're the Maine Technology Institute.
Located off I-95 in Oakland, First Park is known as Central Maine's most connected business park. It features high-speed fiber internet, 3-phase power, and is located in a foreign trade zone, connecting your business to a world of opportunity. With shovel-ready, pre-permitted sites and only a short distance to the local airport and rail service, First Park also makes it easy for entrepreneurs, innovators, and businesses to distribute or receive products around the globe. Interested in locating your business to First Park? Get an exclusive offer at firstpark.com/gift.
That's going to do it for this week. Join us next week for 2 more inspiring stories. Until then, you can see all of our episodes on greenlightmaine.com for Elevating Voices. Have a safe and successful week.
Elevating Voices would like to thank our premier partner, Bangor Savings Bank, our corporate partners, and our sponsors. Thank you.